Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome to a little bit of a different kind of a video. I don't normally cover any sort of things going on with YouTube or anything that could be construed as YouTube drama or anything like that at all. That's not really my cup of tea, and I try to stay far away from that. But some of you may have heard about the fact that right now a lot of stuff is going on with YouTube where big advertising companies like Verizon and AT&T, stuff like that, they're pulling out of YouTube. They're going to stop advertising on YouTube, or they have already stopped advertising on YouTube. And this has caused a lot of creators to really be kind of put into a place where they're hurting financially, and they're worried about the future of YouTube and what it means and all that kind of stuff. And I want to talk a bit about that and what it means for you as a viewer and how you can help the creators that you care about. I also want to say right from the beginning, and I'll probably say this several times over the course of the video, this is not in regards to myself. I have actually not been affected at all by any of these things going on. I have gone through all 1,900 of my videos, and not a single one of them has been demonetized where ads are not being shown on it anymore. I have not noticed any drop in revenue. In fact, I've actually noticed a slight increase in revenue over the last couple of days, which is to be expected because of spring break. But this has not affected me at all. So later on in the video, when I get to what you can do to help, I'm not doing that on behalf of myself. I'm doing that on behalf of all the other creators on YouTube, because odds are you watch more than one creator. I'm probably not the only YouTuber that you watch. I know I personally watch tons of different YouTubers. It's not one person or two people. I watch probably 20, 30, 40 YouTubers on a regular basis. And even though I personally have not been affected by the stuff that's going on, I'm sure there are other creators out there that you guys watch that have been affected by it. So let's talk first of all, just for a little background, what is going on with YouTube? As I said, a lot of advertisers have pulled out of of advertising on YouTube because they are worried that their videos or their ads are being placed on videos that are very, very questionable at best. Things like extremist videos like ISIS, for example, racist things that promote hate speech. These types of videos, things that the advertising companies do not want their ads to be associated with. They don't want their brands to be associated with ISIS, etc. And that's understandable from an advertising company's perspective. There's been media pressure and things like that. And because these advertising companies are pulling out of YouTube, YouTube is kind of scrambling to try and get them back by establishing a system where videos are identified as advertiser-friendly, and as a result, a lot of videos from a lot of creators have been demonetized. That means that ads are no longer being allowed on those videos. And in some cases, there's no option to appeal. So some channels have had their videos demonetized, and they're supposed to be able to appeal that and be like, hey, YouTube, this video is actually perfectly okay. But there's no appeal option in place in some cases. And the way that videos are identified as not being advertiser-friendly is all based on an algorithm. There's not like people manually going through and watching every video and deciding, oh, is this one advertiser-friendly? Yes, it is. No, it's not. No, it's all based on an algorithm. So it's based on titles and tags, descriptions, related content, all that kind of really, kind of technical, complicated stuff. This has not affected me, as I said, and I will stress over and over again, this is not an issue that has affected me at all. Now, why has it not affected me? It's very simple. Basically, since the dawn of my channel, I have been heavily positioned as a family-friendly channel, and I have taken great steps to tell the YouTube algorithms, hey YouTube, I'm family-friendly. I don't have controversial content in my videos. I don't have adult themes. I don't use any foul language. I don't promote hate speech. I don't do any of those types of things. I am family-friendly. If you go to my channel page, you can tell without even watching a single video that my channel is family friendly. It's in my banner, it's in my about section, it's in the tags of a lot of my videos. I'm very clearly, from YouTube's perspective, a family friendly channel. And as a result, I am the type of channel that advertisers are perfectly comfortable advertising with, because my content is not questionable by their standards. It's not something that's going to make them look bad. It's not the sort of brand that they don't want to be associated with. It's not anything that's controversial, etc., etc. So this has not affected me at all. However, there are probably other family-friendly channels out there that this is affecting. Odds are, if you watch me, you probably know of at least a few other family-friendly channels. And what I question, the thing that I challenge you to do, go to their channel page and see if, without watching a single video, you can tell if they're family-friendly or not. If you can't, odds are they quite possibly are having issues with all this stuff that's going on. Because YouTube, even though they may be family-friendly, YouTube and its algorithms may not know that they're family friendly. So their videos still may be getting demonetized. Or they may be running into these sorts of issues. The other thing that is relevant in this case is that the way that advertising on YouTube works is that there's this giant pool of ads, right? And it has all of these ads in it. And whether or not an ad appears on a video is based on a couple of things. First of all, is the video monetized? Are ads allowed to play on the video at all? And if the answer is no, it's not monetized, then you will never see an ad on that video. The other thing is there an ad available from this pool of ads? Is there an ad available to put on this video when you watch it? That's why sometimes when you watch a video, you see an ad, and sometimes when you watch a video, you don't see an ad, even though the video itself may be monetized. So with all these advertising companies pulling out of YouTube, that pool of ads has shrunk. It's much smaller. There's a lot less ads to go around on YouTube. I think that hasn't affected me at all, because at the same time that that's happening, a lot of these other channels out there on YouTube are having their videos demonetized, where there's now less ads to go around, but there's also a lot less videos to go around that ads can be put on in the first place. So this is an issue. This is a huge issue, because one of the things that enables creators like myself to do YouTube full-time, where I can put 40, 60, 80, 100 hours a week into my channel, and I can do things like live streams, and I can do multiple videos a day that take 4 to 6 hours each, and things like that. One of the things that enables us to do that, and in fact probably the biggest thing that enables us to do that, is the money involved. I do get paid for YouTube, and because I get paid for YouTube, I don't have to work a traditional 9-to-5 job with a boss that I hate, so I can focus that time on creating content, whether that's live streams or videos or whatever. And if that revenue disappears, a lot of content creators that you watch, especially the mid-size ones like myself, they're in the roughly 100,000 to 500,000 subscriber range, pull in, 1 to 2 million views per month, especially in that range, channels about my size, you're going to see those ones that have recently gone full-time go right back to the point where they can't be full-time anymore. Because I make enough on YouTube where I can comfortably pay all my bills, but some YouTubers are reporting their income being halved, or their income from YouTube being cut into a fourth of what it used to be prior, just within the last couple days. Overnight, it went from X amount to this much, much smaller amount down here. And I will say that if this whole issue was affecting me, if my revenue had been cut in half overnight, I wouldn't be able to do this full time anymore. I would not have enough to pay all of my bills every month. Right now, I make enough where I can pay all my bills, and I can put a little bit extra away into savings or invested or whatever. But if my ad revenue were to just cut in half or cut into a fourth of what it was overnight, No way. I'd have to go and find some sort of a traditional job because that would not be enough to pay my bills and support my family. And when you look at all these other YouTubers that are running into this issue, a lot of them are panicking, and I don't blame them in the slightest. I mean, imagine if you were working a job where you made, say, $4,000 a month, and suddenly your boss just said, yeah, by the way, we're going to pay you $2,000 a month now. Like, you'd panic. That's a huge drop in income. That goes from being, solidly middle class to the point where you quite possibly can't pay your bills anymore. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Like, that's a massive difference. And of course, it depends on where you live and what your cost of living is, where you're at, and all that kind of stuff. But you guys get the idea. So the question is, how can you as a viewer help? And why do you care? You should care because if this continues, this is going to cause a lot of creators to have to stop doing YouTube full time or to possibly even leave YouTube altogether. And that's kind of a big deal for you as a viewer, because if your favorite content creator goes from being able to put 60 to 100 hours a week of work into their channel to make all the content that you guys like to watch and enjoy, and suddenly they don't have that time anymore, you're going to see less videos from the content creators that you like. And in some cases, you may even see them leave YouTube altogether, which means no more videos from a creator that you enjoy. And that's sad for all of us. That's sad for me as a viewer as well, because as I said, I am a content creator, but I also watch YouTube videos as well. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because I care about YouTube as a whole, as the greater ecosystem of YouTube. Sure, it affects me as a creator in many ways, but I also care about the YouTube community and the platform that is YouTube. Like, that's a big deal to me. So what I will say is that if you do want to help, and let me once again reiterate, I'm not saying this on behalf of myself. I am personally completely and totally fine. I have not had any drop in income. I have not had any of my videos demonetized, and I have not had any decrease in revenue. In fact, my revenue has actually gone up over the last couple days. So I'm not saying this on behalf of myself. Please don't take this as me saying, please donate, I'm begging for money, etc., etc. Because I know there are going to be comments on this video that say that anyway because they didn't watch the video and they saw the title and they're like, yep, this is it. But I'm not saying this on behalf of myself. I am personally fine. However, if you as a viewer want to help the creators that you care about, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about all the creators that you care about, there are many things you can do. You can watch videos. Watch more videos from those creators. That helps them because it grows their channel. They eventually get more views. They get more recommendations. Like YouTube recommends their videos more. It helps them grow their channel, which eventually helps them increase their revenue, right? And it allows them to focus more on their channel. So you can watch their videos. You can, in that same vein, you can share their videos with friends and get your friends to watch their videos. All those sorts of things. You can follow them on social media. That's a huge one because, and honestly, with a lot of creators, you probably should be focusing on following them on social media anyway if you care about them, because a lot of creators use that as a way to make announcements or to communicate information. Like, for example, myself, I have Twitter. Anytime I'm going to be streaming, or for that matter, canceling a stream that I would normally have scheduled, I'm going to announce that on Twitter and be like, hey, I'm not streaming today. I have to take my wife to the airport, or whatever. So, I mean, it's a good way to just kind of keep up on the creators that you care about and follow, and for that matter, to interact with them as well. But you can follow them on social media because that helps them grow their brand as a whole, which gives them more tools at their disposal to help their business and to grow their business. I mean, if you have 100,000 followers on Twitter and you're Twitter verified, that's something that you have as a tool at your disposal as a creator. So that is something that where you may be able to transition that into some other platform or whatever it may be. So following on social media is a big way you can help. Liking videos, sharing videos, watching videos, right? YouTube Red is actually a really good one. And I feel like YouTube Red has gotten, for the most part, overlooked by the YouTube community, because a lot of people don't really understand what exactly YouTube Red is. They just know it's this thing. You pay YouTube $9.99 a month, and then YouTube gives you stuff. There's like special exclusive YouTube series that you can watch, like from PewDiePie and whatever. And like a lot of people think that that's what YouTube Red is, and that's all that it is. And that's not the case. There's a lot more to YouTube Red than just the YouTube Red exclusive series. In fact, I myself have had YouTube Red basically since it came out. I have zero interest whatsoever in any of the YouTube Red exclusive series, but I still actually really like YouTube Red. What it allows you to do is watch videos without any sort of advertisements. You don't see advertisements with YouTube Red, which is great. It gives you access to Google Music, which is awesome. Like, you get tons and tons of music just available to you whenever you want as part of your $9.99 subscription every month. And then what I personally like the most about YouTube Red is it takes that amount, that $9.99 you pay, and based on how many minutes you watch different channels, it splits that between the channels that you actually watch. So say, just for easy math, I watch 1,000 minutes of YouTube every month, and I spend 500 of that watching my friend Iskall, and I spend 500 of that watching, I don't know, B00, whatever. That means that of that $9.99, half of it goes to B00, half of it goes to Iskall, because those are the two people that I actually watched over the course of the month, and it gets split based on the number of minutes I watch. YouTube does take a cut of it, of course. It's not 100% of the $9.99 that goes to those creators, but what I like about it is that it lets you support the creators that you actually watch. It doesn't just go to all YouTube creators across YouTube. And I will say that a view from a YouTube Red subscriber, someone who has YouTube Red, is worth a lot more to a YouTube content creator than a view from just a regular traditional viewer. I think I'd have to look at the exact numbers, but in some cases, it can be one YouTube Red view is worth 100 or 1,000 views from regular viewers. Like, that's a huge difference. And with YouTube Red, there's no advertising companies involved. They're getting completely taken out of the picture. So it makes YouTube less reliant on advertising companies, and it makes the content creators less reliant on advertising companies as well. So that is one way that you could help. Yes, I know it's not available in all countries. Yes, I know not everyone can afford it, and that's perfectly fine. My point is that if you have heard of YouTube Red, but you don't really know what it is, or you just kind of heard about it vaguely and you dismissed it, it may be something you want to take another look at. Because YouTube itself has done a pretty lousy job of telling you what YouTube Red is. So I just want to kind of bring that up. Other ways you can help: Patreon, donations, crowdfunding, any sort of thing where you're directly donating to the creators that you care about. That can be very beneficial as well. That can be a huge and significant amount of income when if you donate $5, that might not be game-changing, but if you donate $5 and 100 other people donate $5, suddenly that's $500, and that's a lot more significant. So it's a group effort, it's a crowd effort, and basically the audience and the viewers of these different content creators, their community, has the ability to help support them to be able to keep doing what they love to be doing, despite all the other stuff that's going on with YouTube. There are some content creators out there who don't advertise on their videos at all, and they just have all of their income through websites like Patreon, for example, and that's their entire business model, and that's perfectly fine. That's not what I personally do, but that's what some YouTubers do. So they're entirely reliant on the generosity of their communities to make their living. And that also means that they are not in the slightest bit affected if advertising companies decide to pull out of YouTube, because they don't do ads anyway. So there are a lot of things you can do from a monetary perspective and from just a viewership perspective. Another thing you can do, if you are using ad block on YouTube, stop using ad block on YouTube, because it makes a huge, huge difference when thousands upon thousands or even millions of views over a course of a month, those are not able to have ads on them because people are using ad block. Like, that can be a massively significant amount of income from videos that don't get ads. So that's another thing you can do. Now, obviously, you can do whatever you want. If you want to, if you absolutely refuse to watch ads and you don't want to pay for YouTube Red, that's perfectly fine. That's your decision. And you're welcome to do whatever you want. I'm not telling you to change your life or change your opinions of any. I'm just saying these are things that if you haven't considered them, they're things that you might consider in order to help the content creators that you care about. Because this is an issue that, even though it's not affecting me personally, it does affect me as a viewer, and it does affect me as someone on the YouTube platform as a whole. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Ways that you can help, things you can consider, what's going on with YouTube. Once again, I am perfectly fine. This has not affected me in the slightest because I am a family-friendly channel, and YouTube's algorithms know that I'm a family-friendly channel. But when it comes to other creators, some of them are really, really hurting right now. And this is a big issue, and this definitely affects the future of YouTube as a whole. So just wanted to talk about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. If you are a content creator, feel free to leave a comment saying how this has affected you, if it has, or if it hasn't for that matter. And if you're not a content creator, please, still, thoughts. I'd love to hear them. As for me, you know where to find me. Descriptions, links, descriptions in the descriptions. Links in the description down below. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.